everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. My name is Hiba, and this is my little journal. Today, I'm going to be sharing a flip through of my daily journal. This is the 2024. It is complete, and I thought you would like to see a flip through of it after the pen. I will also be sharing my setup for 2025, and I think I will be journaling for day one in my daily journal. So anyways, let's get to it. I will just flip through this, maybe talk a little bit about my journaling process. I have been journaling daily for the past 11 years, and I truly, truly love this process. I love looking through my daily journal and just seeing how my life has changed from one year to the other. And actually, before I even start flipping through, I wanted to mention something about this page. So I have been using this page in my Hemlock and Oak to keep up with birthdays, but I saw someone on the Hemlock and Oak Facebook group share a really neat and fun way to use this spread, and it's just tracking your reading. And so we're going to set that up together once I start setting up my 2025 daily journal, and I will try to find that post in the Hemlock and Oak Facebook group, and I'll link it in the description box for you, because now for the life of me I can't remember the name of that creator. So if you'd like to see how she did it, I'll definitely link it. I'm literally just going to copy what she did. I'm going to be drawing some bookshelves and things like that, and I'm going to use that page to track my reading, especially now that I'm not going to be keeping a reading journal. I keep going back and forth saying I'm not going to keep one. We shall see. I might make it an easier process, but at this moment, I might use this as a little tracker. Anyways, going back to what I was saying, I just really enjoy keeping up with my day-to-day in this daily journal, and it's just a great way to look back and see and reflect on your life and how it's changed, especially now. If you look at your 2020 daily journal and you look at this year's daily journal, your life has changed completely. Mine has. So 2020, my son graduated high school. We were in lockdown. Our life looked so different, and I'm so happy that I have a daily journal to look back and see what we were doing in 2020 and what we were doing in 2024, and hopefully in 2025. So anyways, for my calendar, I just doodle. I use my stamps, sometimes stickers, but I like to use the calendar to document one little thing that happened throughout the day, maybe the most important thing that happened throughout the day. So I'll document that it rained, and maybe that's an important thing for me at the time. Maybe it hasn't been raining. There was birthdays. I think that was probably my birthday, my husband's as well. Yeah, okay, that's mine. Oh, that's my niece. That's my husband's. So I was documenting things like that. A lot about Palestine. I add it in my daily journal. I think Laith got COVID at the time. So just little tidbits so I can look at this and know basically what happened that day or something important that happened that day. Now, for my daily journal, I document about all the things, little things, big things. It goes in here. This is a place for me to look back and see what I was doing in 2024. Was it special? Was it not? I don't really care. I will put it in there because to me, looking back and seeing all the little tidbits of my life brings me joy. Just little things like chat date. I guess the kids went back to school at that time. Let's see, we had a storm and I stamped a pool, so something must have happened to my parents' pool, and I helped them with it. COVID, that's when my son caught COVID. Again, still talking about COVID. Again, another day of COVID. So just little things that I would like to see and kind of understand my life in general. I'm happy to say that 2024 was a good year. Yes, there was bad moments, but it was a good year for me. I started my business, and so I have it documented here. I also was able to like document little things like this, like a friend of mine telling me about this app called Libib, where you can scan your books, and I have a library full of books. It was genius. I spent like half of the day doing that, and I love that I journaled about it. Camping, maybe, well, that's glamping. So one of my kids did some kind of camping there. The numbers here are just how many days the genocide has been going on in Palestine, and I want to remember that. I want it in my daily journal. I went out to brunch with a friend there, maybe, or my sister. And see, sometimes I don't even have to really read the journaling. Just looking at the stickers or the stamping, the titles, it, helps me remember little tidbits. This is my birthday, so I stamped out 47 in the center and kind of talked about what I did on my birthday, chatting with my friend Elise, self-care, Palestine again, just talking about Mu'taz. So it's just such a wonderful project. I always say this, if you do, or if you're going to do one project a year, it should be your daily journal. It's so easy to keep up with. People always ask me, oh my gosh, how do you keep up with that every day? It literally takes 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And if you want to make it all cutesy and stuff, just add another few minutes to it. It really does not take me long. Sometimes I'm behind and I'll stamp out everything ahead of time, take this to my couch and add the journaling. So the process is really simple. You really don't even have to add the stickers and the stamping. You can keep it as simple as just journaling. You can do whatever you like, but I still believe that this is the best way to document your life. I also document in different projects with photos. I don't feel like I need to add my photos here as well because I have my Scrappy Spiral notebook and I have my traveler's notebooks. So this is just a place for me to dump everything that happened that day. And by the way, you miss a lot of these moments in your regular projects. So if you are working in project life, you are not talking about all the little things. Like if I was to document this day in my project life, or this week in my project life, I wouldn't be documenting me cleaning and what I read and things like that. Let's see here, Sabine was baking, celebrating my niece's birthday. So a lot of these things I would miss adding into my project life because they're little small stories. So this is a great place to add those small stories. So here, let's see, I'm probably had, my new website launch. So I journaled about that. Chat date, maybe how cold it was. And then again, back to my calendar, again, little tidbits of the day. Just doodle them or, use stickers, whatever the case is. I do like to use my stickers in here just because I want to use them up. So I try really hard to use my stickers. So here I'm just documenting my dad's 84th birthday and another launch. I had a lot of launches this year, and honestly, I totally forgot how many launches I had. So it was nice to have them here and just kind of see that. This is just like a spring cleaning day, I think, and I have chores, and I read and I cooked. My sister's birthday. And I also just play with color and I play with my stamps a lot. You'll see here I added these larger numbers. This is just to kind of document Ramadan. I wanted Ramadan to stand out in my daily journal. So I stamped these larger numbers. I did it in 2023, obviously in 2024, and I'll definitely be doing it in 2025. I also wrote down what we ate every single day because, you fast throughout the day. And then we have our dinner really late, so basically after sunset. So I tried to remember to add our iftar in there as well. And then again, another calendar. Love my calendars. They're just so colorful and neat to look at. And then let's see, talking about Gaza here, apartment hunting with my daughter. Maybe this is like a very boring day for a lot of people where I'm doing taxes and work and cooking for iftar. So for me, that's not boring. For me, that's real life. and real life can be pretty routine and pretty boring for some people. But I find that, that's my life and I want it written down, all the way down to if I cleaned or not. Like garage cleanup. This was very important to me. I really wanted to clean the garage and I got it done. That same day, I got to book to go to New York in August. So that was fun. I just covered that up for privacy. But I also have been asked about my black washi tape. I think I've mentioned this before. I'm not sure, but I use the washi tape for privacy. I don't want to share every single page or everything I journal about online. So I do cover it up. This is not for me not to read. I don't really care if I read back on my journal, but I care if other people are reading, things that are private to me. And also, I've been asked if I remove it by the end of the year. I usually don't. I kind of forget about it. And also, I share these journals a lot, especially like with my members. I do a lot of flip throughs and I share little tidbits with them. So I just keep it on there. And this black washi tape comes off really easily. It's almost like paper. Let me share it with you. It's the MT black washi, and I get it from Amazon. I will link it in the description box, and it is linked in my Amazon storefront. But I really like that washi because it does not rip my paper at all. Sometimes washi can do that, especially if you've had it on paper for a long time. Anyways, moving on. So you can see that I journal about work, about cleaning. I sometimes use my digital, Let's Get Digital stamp set to stamp out the times. That's fun. I always recommend that because it's cool to look back and see, oh, at 3 o'clock I did this and at 4 o'clock I did that. So I try to remember to use it every once in a while. Sometimes I'll break down my day by morning and evening, especially if not much has happened that day. I'm working, I'm cleaning, I'm cooking, maybe I'm running errands, things like that. So I'll definitely do that. I think this is, oh my gosh, yeah, we're in April. So I moved out my daughter from the dorms that day, did some crafting. I had a mini launch for the peaches, and I'm just playing. I'm trying really, really hard to add washi as I go. That's something that I've been pushing myself to do. You'll see washi here and there, but I'm really trying to push myself to use more washi just because I just have so much and I need to find a way to use it. Here I'm just talking about a brunch date with my family. I think it was my parents and sisters. And then here, let's see, Laith did something special. So I stamped out his name in big letters. Feeling sick. Someone in the household is feeling sick. My sister graduated her specialist degree. I have a little funny story here and I covered that up. Oh, and this is, I think, Mother's Day. So I documented that. Oh, and here we put in a new microwave and stove. I totally forgot that was this year, so I made sure to I doodled that, which I'm so proud of. I doodled that and wrote about that because it was a process, you guys. I think I even have some curse words somewhere around here because maybe back here. Yeah, here, because my husband kind of messed up on the installation of the new microwave and vent. Anyway, found a tick on my son. Yes, he had to go do some research, I think in Tennessee, by the lake or something. And oh my gosh, we found a tick on him. That was a process. That was a situation. He went to the doctor. And so you can see the little stories that pop up and hanging out at the pool. That's a small story, but to me, now I know we're basically in summer, and little moments that I forgot about, like babysitting my niece, car shopping with my daughter. I just love this project. I know I talk about it a lot, and I just love seeing a lot of scrapbookers getting into journaling. It just makes me so happy because I feel like a lot of times people try to separate scrapbooking from journaling, from documenting, from, I don't know, crafting and planning. There is no line. I am all of that in a bag of chips. I just love doing all of the things, and I love to try new things. And, maybe down the road, I'll get bored with my hemlock and oak and change that up. But I always recommend to try new things and don't put yourself in a box thinking, oh, I'm just a card maker. That's not true. We all make cards, we all scrapbook, we all journal, we all love stationary things. It doesn't mean that we are all sectioned out. Like, don't section yourself out. I've never done that to myself. I've always been all of these things and really, really enjoy it. And I always recommend to find other and new creative outlets. Don't just stick to one, and don't be afraid to change and try new things. So I just love doing it. I love looking at this and seeing my life all in one journal. It just makes it so special. Here, I think I just added some washi tape. Maybe I didn't have a story. I wanted to fill that space up, so I just added some washi tape. All right, I'm just gonna start flipping, and once there's something I want to talk about, I'll definitely do that. Oh, it's so funny because now I have to talk about this. My daughter got to meet Kevin Bacon, so I stamped out, what? Kevin Bacon? And you know what? She did not take a picture with Kevin Bacon. That's why I kind of talk about it, and I'm so mad at her because she did not take a picture. Who does that? Anyway, cleaning day, babysitting, chilling with my sister, talking again about Palestine. I did draw out this tattoo. I want to get that done, and hopefully I will at some point. And it's going to be cool to like have that tattoo on my arm and flip through this in a few years and see where I drew it out and where I, documented it. So that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so now I'm just going to flip through this, and if there's anything I see that I need to talk about, I'll definitely do that. Oh, one more thing. I keep doing this. So you don't have to fill out the whole page. You can see here I have nothing else to say, so I'm okay with white space, no big deal. I can add some washi if I wanted to, but it's not the end of the world. If you miss a day, if you miss two, if you miss a whole week, just pick up where you stopped and keep going. You'll see that I started watching Glee or rewatching Glee there. So I just wrote that down. Oh, my mom made this really, was it my mom or my aunt? I can't remember. Made one of my favorite like pickled eggplants. And it was so good. And so I had to mention that. So this is where I go to New York with the Peaches. We went to Stationery Fest. So I changed it up for my New York trip. I didn't stamp the days of the week at the top. I used that space to stamp out day 1 through, I think, 5. And we had so much fun. I used a lot of the stickers that I picked up at Stationery Fest. So a lot of it was like New York themed. And I had this washi tape from the washi tape shop, and that was all about New York, so I used that as well. And basically, my New York trip is over, and I'm back home and doing all the things again, catching up on work, catching up on the house, the kids, all that good stuff. And my style kind of a little bit changes by the end. You can see here, I love using muted colors. And you'll see it a lot at the beginning. Like, it's very muted, it's very subtle, very clean. By mid, I started using more of my ink pads, colored ink pads, because I wanted to push myself to use all the colors. I tend to use the same colors over and over again, even with my Tombos. So I was just kind of pushing myself to get out of my comfort zone and use them. So I did that. Here you can see I'm using my Let's Get Digital stamp set to keep up with the time, or basically document what time I did what. We had a little traumatic moment here with my daughter. And so that's probably something I won't want to read again, honestly. I covered that for privacy, but I don't think I ever want to go back and read that. It was so traumatic. Anyways, moving on. I also use a lot of my Cocoa Daisy kits, my sticker kits, and my journaling kit. in my daily journal. These kits are perfect if you don't have, like a stash of stickers that you can use. And also, everything matches, so you don't have to overthink it. So you just use one kit for the day and everything matches and you make it your own. And I just love using it every once in a while. And everything in those kits basically are flat, so it doesn't add bulk. Got to have breakfast with my friend Jessica. She's the owner of Colorcast Design. She is lovely. And anytime she's in Atlanta, we get to meet up. Had lunch with my sister, did some more work. A lot of the stickers I use are from Etsy shops. I'll try to remember to add links to those Etsy shops. And I also use a lot of my pet tape, like my PET tape. So like things like that, that is all of those pet tapes. And I just trim them out and use them here. I have a lot of them and I really love them. And you can see I use them a lot. Sometimes I go through these like ups and downs where I use a lot of my pet tape and sometimes I totally forget. My daughter and I went to see Beetlejuice and I obviously didn't have a sticker for Beetlejuice, so I drew him out and I think he looks really cute and scary. Now he's been out perfect, but I love that I tried and it worked out. I think if I did it in Procreate, it would have looked so much better, but I did it basically straight on my notebook, which is fine. Another private moment. My sisters and I went to see Kings of Leon. Loved that concert. Had so much fun. And the day of the concert, they started letting us know that Helene is coming through Georgia. So there was a major storm here. But the storm really started at night and it took up those 2 days. So what I decided to do was just stamp Helene across the 2 pages and kind of do like a mind map and just talk about what happened, what I did that day, any feelings or anything, go there basically. Documenting about Lebanon and what's happening there. I'll clean my parents' house. I do that a lot, try to help my parents out a little bit. Just stamping large titles when when the whole day I'm thinking of that situation. I did journal about it a little bit, covered that up because it's personal. But sometimes like I just don't want to journal about anything and all I'm thinking about is this. So I'll just focus on that. All right, we're almost done. I think we are in October. I had the Arab Festival in October. Let's see, we had some traveling, I believe, in October as well, documenting the 1 year mark of genocide. And then, oh, dress shopping. Yeah, I was traveling to my cousin's wedding. So my sister and I were shopping for dresses for the wedding. Halloween craft party. You'll see a lot of peach stamps here and there. It's because my members and I get together every other week and we get to get on Zoom and chat. Now I can't find a peach, but you can see them here basically. But we get to hang out and chat and craft and have some really good times together. And so I think 2 or 3 times a year I have a, which is literally all day. So that's all we did all day. And I just stamped it in bigger, like I stamped out a bigger title to document that. Got some birthdays. That's Sabine's birthday. And then I believe I travel somewhere around here. Let's see. I love these stickers, by the way. Those are from Isabova. Okay, yeah, we traveled here. It was a Saturday. We had the henna party at night. So talked about that. And then the wedding day. And then we traveled the next day back home. That was such a fun weekend with my siblings and my parents. We had a blast. All right, so coming up to November, I think we voted there. I got really sick when I got back, and you'll see a lot of, I'm sick, a lot of that going on here. I feel like I was sick for days on end, just never ended. I had the Makers Market. I pushed myself to get that done and spend the day at the Makers Market. I took a booth there. And my son, the next day, he helped me that day. And the next day, he said this to me. And I wanted to add it in my journal. And this, again, I go back to this is why I love having a daily journal. I might have missed this if I was just documenting it in my project life because I didn't have a picture for it. By the time I got to my project life layouts, I probably would have forgotten that he said, "Mom, you make me believe it's no longer a man's world." And he said that to me because obviously I'm grateful that my business is growing and he feels that way. And he said it out loud and it just warmed my heart. And because I have a daily journal, I was able to write that out. And every time I flip through this, that's like one of the first things I'm going to see because it's bold and big and it's going to remind me of Laith and that moment. So definitely recommend keeping a daily journal, even if it's a small A6 notebook. You can use a Hobonichi, you can use a regular notebook. I've started my daily journaling in regular notebooks, and then I started using the Hobonichi A6 for a good 3 years or 4 years. And then I jumped into a cousin for a couple of years. Then my Archer and Olive. Actually, Archer and Olive, I used a planner Archer and Olive for my daily journal, moved to bullet journaling, and then I moved to my Hemlock and Oak, which has more space. And I'm so happy I did because I was intimidated by the big page, but I'm happy that I did it because I can add more stories basically. So I wanted to mention about something about December's calendar. So I usually do this type of calendar in my project life journal. And I had so much fun doing it and it looks really pretty. And I thought maybe I should switch it up and do that for my daily journal instead of, my regular doodle kind of thing. But I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like how it looks. I enjoy my calendars more, so I'm gonna go back to what I've been doing for years now and just doodle and stamp with larger, stamps and doodles basically. Anyways, we are almost done flipping through my daily journal. Oh, I had a bazaar to a Christmas bazaar that I took place in. And that was fun. It's just so fun to look through this. I'm going to wrap this up and we can start setting up my 2025 daily journal. I might journal for day one as well while we're at it. I think it'll be fun for you to see how I journal daily. I know I have a lot of daily journal with me videos here, but I think it'll be fun to, journal for the first day of the year. Oh, that's Laith's birthday there. A lot of times for birthdays, I kind of focus on the birthday. I don't focus on the small things. I always try to start by what we did, anything like whatever we did special for that person, if that makes sense. And so New Year's is coming up. Oh, I reorganized my packing station and my library. That took all day. So you'll see here, that's all I talked about. I even forgot to eat all day. It's crazy. And basically that's it. This is January 1st, which I'm going to be documenting in my new setup or in my new journal. And basically I'm done with my daily journal. Love how this turned out. So excited about it. All right, so now that we're done with that, I'm going to grab my daily journal for 2025, which by the way, let me grab it real quick. All right, I decided to go with my purple, like dark purple hardcover daily journal. I know I shared the Flex with you and it's so pretty, but I think I'm going to be sticking to the hardcover just because you can see here she has gone through a lot, you guys. And she's kept up really well. You can see how chunky it is. And I don't feel like the Flex is going to hold up as much as the hardcover would. I think if you weren't using it like I am and you're just planning in your daily journal or whatever the case is, it might be fine, but I'm too scared to use the Flex. I know I can take it apart if it falls apart and put it on discs or something, but I really love these hardcovers and I love how they look on my shelf. So I'm sticking to the hardcover. We're gonna start by putting the tabs on here. We're going to set this up and, like I said, journal for day one. So let's get right into it and set up my 2025 Hemlock and Oak daily journal. All right, let's start setting up my 2025 daily journal. I'm going to start by adding this vinyl sticker. This is a sticker that I designed with my friend Elizabeth, and it turned out so cute, so I had to add it to the first page of my daily journal. And like I shared earlier, I'm going to be using these 2 pages to track my reading. So while I was checking out the Hemlock and Oak Facebook group, I love to go on there and get some inspiration. One of the ladies on there had shared how she's using these 2 pages to track her reading. And so she had drawn books kind of sitting on shelves, basically like one of my shelfies that I used to do in my reading journal. And so I thought that was genius. I should definitely use these 2 pages for my shelfies because I'm thinking at the moment that I'm not going to be creating a reading journal. Like I said, I might change my mind, but for now, I'm not going to do that. So this is a great place for me to still be creative, have my bookshelfie, which I know I'm going to miss a lot, basically use this page in a better way. The daily journal does have other pages where I can keep up with birthdays. Like the next few pages, I think they're quarterly pages, and I can definitely use those instead of these 2 pages, if that makes sense. Anyways, I used an older, I think this is a Carrie Bradford stamp to stamp out the books. And then I'm using an old Feed Your Craft stamp set to stamp all the little cute plants and boxes and things like that to pretty up my spread. I think I also use a Studio Calico stamp as well, but I'm just adding little tidbits to my shelves. I'm thinking I'm not going to use every single book for each month. You know, some months I'm reading 5 books, some months I'm reading 1 book. So I just decided that I'm going to stamp them all. And it is what it is. If I fill them out, great. If I don't, it's not a big deal. But I can kind of track how many books I read each month. And I did leave a little bit of space, so I didn't fill out the whole shelf because I thought it would be fun to stamp the number at the end of the month. Basically, if I read 5 books, I'll stamp 5 next to my book stack or on the shelf. Now I'm using some colored ink pads to fill in my plants and my books. I'll also be using my Tombow markers to color in anything that I don't have like a filler stamp for. I think I'm done, but you'll see at the end of the video, I'll come back to this layout and actually draw in the shelves. I just felt like it wasn't complete. You can't really see the lines. I feel like I still need to get my own shelving. So I'll come back to this page later, but for now, we're jumping into my January calendar where I'm basically going to be stamping January. Now, I've used throughout the years different alphas for this. This is a favorite alpha, I believe, from the Paper Person shop. I barely get to use it because it's so bold and I don't know, thick basically. And it doesn't fit in a lot of my projects, but it fit in this one. So I'm going to be using this alpha throughout the year. And I'm going to go with just black ink because I use my calendar for doodling and stickers and things like that. And it gets really colorful. I do want to try to balance that out with stamping it in black ink. All right, so I want to also stamp out the days of the week. Do this every single month in my daily journal, and I set it up before I start the month. And I'm going to be using the What Day Is It stamp set, and I will stamp that basically throughout the whole month. I'm going to stamp it in a very muted gray because I do like to stamp it in black, but I feel like sometimes I like to change it up with a more muted color. I did edit this out a lot because this is the boring part, just stamping the days of the week over and over again. But once I'm done with this, we can start journaling for January 1st, 2025. I am done stamping out the days of the week, and I remembered that I need to add my tabs. I'm going to be honest, at first I thought I wasn't going to use tabs this year because the tabs throughout the year kind of get in the way. So I always add my daily journal in my little planner bag, which goes with me basically around the house. And they do get rough on the edges after a while. But I thought, you know what? I'll use them. But this year, I'm going to get them as close as possible to the page. So I don't want them sticking out too much, but enough for me to find the month, if that makes sense. And because they did come with my daily journal, might as well use it. So you'll see here when I share the end results that they are kind of flush to the page. So it makes it neater and cleaner, and they're not in my way when I'm working in my daily journal and when I'm throwing my daily journal in my planner bag. Now we can work on day one. I am going to be stamping the weather first. It was sunny and nice, pretty cold, but very sunny and pretty. And so I just use my weather stamp for that. I like to keep up with the weather every single day. That's been a fun add-on from 2024. And I grabbed my sticker book and I'm trying to find the right sticker to document a work day. And I love these stickers from Isabova. She has a little shop on Etsy and I'm just obsessed with her stickers. I used the girl packing boxes, or I think she's holding a bunch of boxes, and that was literally me that day. I was just packing boxes and dropping them off at the post office. And I also used my Let's Get Digital stamp set because I thought it would be fun to start the year stamping out the timeline for each thing I did that day. So I stamped out the time, and then I'm going to be stamping work using my Bean Alphas. I stamped it in this really nice brown from Studio Calico just so it can match my sticker. I think I also did stamp UGG because I was really hating myself that day. I thought I was going to take New Year's Day off, and I did not. I also did a lot of cleaning. I walked the dogs, or my husband and I actually, we took them, I think, to the dog park on that day. So I stamped my little dog with the leash. That is from my Get It Done stamp set, and then stamped the time again. I will also add a subtitle. Just going to end up using my fountain pen for this. Just add a little subtitle next to my stamped out dog. I think I end up just writing Get It Done because I did get a few things done in that time frame. And I like to do this every once in a while. I do have a lot of alpha stamps and I could totally stamp this out, but I like to also just write out my own little titles here and there just to mix it up a little bit, especially if I don't have the space to stamp with larger alphas. My handwriting is not the best, but I don't really care. And I create this little subtitle with double lines so I can add color to them. I'm going to color in my little dog, and then we can move on to my next section, which I spent some time reading, which I was really happy about. I was reading our book club pick for the month. If you don't know, I do have a book club. It's called Reading with Hiba. You can join it on Instagram. It is free. But this month's pick was Demon Copperhead. and it's a long book, so I try to start early so I can finish it before our book club discussion. So I end up looking through my sticker book again, and I found a book stack. I'm just going to end up adding that. I will also, again, stamp the time. But once I stamp the time, I don't like how my sticker is positioned. It just looked off. So I end up just centering it so it can just fit properly and it looks much, much better. I'm looking for dominoes. I know I have dominoes, and I remembered that I have a sticker sheet just full of board games. So I used the domino sticker because my son and I played dominoes as well. And to keep up with my timeline, I'm going to grab my Let's Get Digital stamp set and stamp the time right next to the domino sticker. But I will reposition the domino sticker as well because I stamped the time too close and it just looked off. So I just move it down a little bit. I'm almost done adding my stickers and stamping. I'm just gonna add this little stamp that says someone's gotta do it. I had to clean that day, so I thought this was the perfect stamp. So I basically add it on the bottom where once I journal, it will make sense because I'm combining, getting things done and talking about cleaning as well. I colored in my son, and now we can start journaling. I have been using my TWSBI extra fine. No, I think it's the fine nib, inked with this beautiful sailor ink. It's just a dark, dark black. And I've really been enjoying it, especially in my Hemlock and Oak. The paper just takes it really well. Now, this ink is really dark, and I find it to be not the best for my Tomoe River paper, but it works really well for my Hemlock and Oak. I'm basically just going to journal about my day, all the little tidbits, and having this sectioned out makes the process really, really easy and quick. I am done with my journaling. I am going to jump back into my little library section, and I'm going to create shelves for those books. Like I said, I just felt like my books needed to be grounded. So I'm just going to create a simple shelf for each month. I grab my ruler and pen, just create these little shelves. I will color them in with a brown marker and basically call this layout done. I do lose a little bit of footage at the end, but you do get the idea of what I'm doing here, and I will share all the pages once I'm done. But I do want to remind you that I have a discount code with Hemlock and Oak. It's Hiba Al 10. I will add everything I shared and used down in the description box for you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.